that. Tampering day 2. That is what's going on. Hello. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. If you're not watching live, it is 9 o'clock on a Tuesday. And I thought I was coming on at 9 o'clock to talk about Devontae Parker and Justin Fields rumors. I even created the room as we have to do on this on the StreamYard app. Didn't have anything about CJGJ on it. And then I checked my phone and I said, oh, they signed CJGJ. It was interesting. I read earlier today, I guess like this morning, mid-morning, I saw two similar rumors. One was saying Eagles very much interested in CJGJ. Another one said Eagles very much interested in Justin Simmons. So it's a matter of, all right, how much of this is BS? How much of it is they're interested in one of the two and the Eagles are going to get a safety? And I think it was the latter. Simmons is still out there. I don't know if he was asking for too much money and that's why the Eagles settled on CJGJ, or did they really target him and that's who they wanted and they would have fallen back to Justin Simmons. Maybe putting that out there in the media was a leverage play against both of them. I don't know, but Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is a Philadelphia Eagle. And when you look at that defense last year, they missed him. They missed his playmaking ability. He was always around the football. Any tip ball, for whatever reason, he was there. He's a playmaker. And he can play the nickel corner. He can play the safety position. He can come up and make tackles. He's excellent in passing game. I'm a big fan of him, the player. Now, there is concerns about him being a knucklehead. And I'm not talking about anything illegal or anything like that. But if you remember his exit from the Eagles, wasn't necessarily graceful. And his agents didn't do him any favor. But he was injured again last year for Detroit. And he had a torn pec. So I hate to call him injury prone. He lacerated a kidney when he was here with the Eagles. And he tore a pec. So this isn't hamstring injuries or calf injuries or muscle injuries like that. This dude's getting significant injuries, which is concerning in a different way, right? Like if he's coming up and he's trying to deliver hits and he's getting injured, well, that's a problem. Regardless, the 3 years up to $33 million, I want everybody to realize and highlight the up to $33 million. Agents do this pretty much with every contract right now. When you see the insider, Adam Schefter, Rap Sheet, whatever information robot, whatever they're programmed to say by the agent in the text message, that's all that they do. They're not really checking into it and saying, oh, let's see how much it actually is. So there's no way this isn't actually a $33 million contract. I'll be curious to see what the guaranteed money is. It's probably like a 2-year guaranteed contract where he's making $10, $11 million a year, $8 million, $9 million. I'll be curious to see how much money that is in incentives. But reality is that he was a really, really good player for the Eagles when that was a really, really good defense. So you hope that he is going to be able to really help that older secondary. And I think that is the advantage to a Justin Simmons who is 4 years older than him, where you really have those young, fresh, versatile legs. Not that Justin Simmons isn't a good player, but CJGJ offers a different dynamic. He's your best playmaker on defense, not even close, and they missed him last year. Now, I'd say that the obvious worry is the injury stuff, and it's legit, but Justin Simmons missed time the last 2 years as well. Sorry, that's my wife that's texting me, and my daughter Lena wants to say goodnight to me as I'm now on the air. So let me see, does she want to come down? So real fast, and Delco Steve, I'm going to invite you in for this one. You texted me earlier, and it took a while to get back to you because the time change with, if you have children or animals, pets, the time change is a killer. And it's normally worse in the fall, but in the spring, like these kids are fighting me to go to bed. I'm like, yo, it's 8:30. You gotta go lay in your bed. I've had enough of this. And my daughter Lena is still not asleep at 9:05 because in her clock it's still 8:05, which is when they go to sleep. So
I hate the time change stuff. Like
I hate it. If free agency didn't happen, we would have done a half of a show on the time change because I hate it.
Oh, it's not. I hate that people bitch about it. It doesn't bother me at all. It doesn't change my life.
What do you
in
have
a
kids?
Second.
What do you have kids? It's terrible for your clock. Just Google.
It doesn't affect me at all.
Accidents go up. Well, you don't wear a friggin' seatbelt, so I'm not surprised it doesn't affect you.
I am dumbfounded that the seatbelt thing is taking so much long.
Oh, by the way, and my buddy Rick, who watches the show at night live, he's riding his bike earlier as we were coming in. We did a walk around the block. He's riding his bike, and
he's like this moron that doesn't wear a seatbelt.
So as I'm walking up the driveway, he goes, "There's no seatbelt though," like Delco Steve. And I'm like, "Oh man."
Do you wear your seatbelt on an airplane?
Not unless I have to.
See, like that's my point. What the hell is a seatbelt on an airplane doing for me?
If they sometimes for the most part they never say anything, but sometimes you'll get the real stickler, and she'll be like, "Excuse me, sir, put your seatbelt on." Because normally on a flight, I take it's not like Tylenol PM, but it's some kind of sedative that puts me to sleep.
A knockout drug.
Right. So I'm asleep before the plane even takes off on most flights, and I'm going for
some melatonin.
No, it's not that. It's we're no matter what it was, it puts you out for like 4 hours. So I'm not really all that worried about flying because I'm asleep. But anyway, yeah. So there you go. So my daughter is still not asleep, and she wants me to come say goodnight to her. But
my thing is, it's like because they're eventually getting rid of it. Like that's eventually going to happen.
Yeah, it's soon because lawmakers are.
The fact that it's a big deal to people that lawmakers have to get involved just drives me insane. It's dark at 9 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to be really pissed.
Well, listen, how about we just leave? Because it's not like this everywhere. There's some like Arizona, Nevada doesn't do it.
Yeah, those country bumpkins.
Oh, because it's stupid. All right, CJGJ. So I'm just I'll throw it to you, Delco Steve. I give it a thumbs up, but again, it's one of these. It's a risky signing because of the injury history, and you can say it's not a pulled hamstring, but when you lacerate your kidney, and again, it was on a hit where he delivered a big hit, or it was like a big collision. Because I remember his reaction. It's like, damn, like did he break his rib? It was like a really weird reaction, and then you're like, holy crap, he lacerated a kidney. He tore a pec. He played 2 or 3 games last year with the Lions.
I think it was week 1. He tore his pec.
Was it really? Because he played 3 games, so he came back and played 2 games at the end of the season.
And then he played 3. And then I think he played the last week, and then the 3 playoff games. So it was probably week 2.
Yes, you're right. Yeah. So I mean, like it, don't like it. Would you have rather had Justin Simmons?
I would have rather had Justin Simmons for the experience and what he brings to Vic Fangio's defense. And obviously he knows Vic Fangio's defense, and Vic Fangio knows him and how to utilize him. But CJGJ has proven that he's a joker type player. He can play in any position. He can play deep safety. He can play free safety. He can play the slot. You know, he can step up into the box. He's not a Brian Dawkins type hitter, but he's not just some scrub that's going to get run right over.
Yeah, he's versatile, and this is a great comment by Reps because it's what I was talking about a little bit earlier, the off the field stuff. He's a knucklehead, and actually, can we play it right now? Do you have it?
Yep.
So this was after he left Philly last year, but still, now you have Slay and Steven Nelson and whoever. I don't even know who the other person was on that podcast, but they're trashing Philadelphia Eagles fans. Let's be honest with it. They're trashing Eagles fans. They don't like Eagles fans. It's pretty clear. Now, if everything goes right, and I was so right about Slay, there was one time in that Super Bowl year where they lost the game, and he's mouthing off after the game and throwing guys under the bus and tweeting and this and that. It's like, dude, you haven't seen bad in this town, bro. So you wait till it goes bad in this town. You're not going to be able to handle it, and he couldn't handle it last year. So now you're bringing him back. They better turn this around. But this is, I don't even know what game. Are you a gamer? Delco Steve?
Video gamer now.
Well,
not since college.
he's streaming some game, and I guess people pay to ask him questions while he's doing it. But anyway, this was I plucked this off of Crossing Broad. I don't know if this is their tweet or whatever. But here's CJGJ after he left the Eagles last season.
Just so he could get his shit answered. All right, fuck it. All right, my least favorite thing is the people. They fucking obnoxious and fucking I can't stand the fuckers.
So not even it's a tough place to play. When Slay and Steve Nelson were talking about it, that's mild compared to that.
Fucking I can't stand the fuckers.
One more
All
time.
right, my least favorite thing is the people. They fucking obnoxious and fucking I can't stand the fuckers.
Or is this one of these things, Steve, where he it's like a fiery relationship and you have this really passionate girl and you love each other so much, but like when you guys fight, you fight like holy hell, and when you break up, it's like fireworks.
Well, that was him on the way out the door last year, right?
That was after he was gone, yeah.
Right. So that was, for me, it just felt like very kind of like what we were talking about with Tiki yesterday, where it was like tongue in cheek, where he's like, I don't know. It's just weird. It's like you didn't have anything to say before, and we've had plenty of players that played here that said things while they were here. Why did you wait to say something after the fact?
Right.
It's like he seems like a hard-assy kind of guy that would say it while he was here anyway.
Because he lives on social media. And what happened after he signed with the Lions? And the agent had some weird tweet about it. He was fighting with people online and people were being mean. Guess what? If you're an athlete on Twitter and you're gonna engage fans and fight with fans, guess what's gonna happen? They're gonna be all over you. So it's not even worth it. And he's the kind of guy like Slay that will go back and forth and complain and spends too much time on social media. I don't like those guys.
Slay and his wife are the worst.
Yep.
The worst.
Slay's wife's good. Slay's wife's good in the community. She gives away stuff or whatever.
No. I'm not saying what they do, for the community and charitable wise. Of course, they all do a lot. A lot of these guys do a lot of great things. But I'm saying with the give and take on Twitter, like you can't say anything bad about Slay without tagging him, and then something's going to come back to you probably at some point in time if you say something.
Yeah,
because they're searching their mentions. That makes no sense to me. Like you're getting paid millions of dollars as an athlete. You shouldn't be worried about what Joe Schmo, me over here, is saying, and especially if I'm not tagging you in it. Don't go looking for it.
I think he's a great talent. The things that you worry about with Slay there, with the fact that does he already feel a certain way about the fans? I mean, that's some pretty aggressive language against the fans.
And if he actually feels that way about the fans, why is he coming back? Why is he calling it home? Why is he he tweeted going home today.
Right.
What if that's home, why do you hate us?
See, I don't think he does.
That's what I'm saying. I think that's why I think what he was saying after he went to the Lions is a little tongue-in-cheek bullshit.
He loves it. He loves it here. He was hurt. The agent, as Jimmy Moe said, the agent overplayed his hand, should have taken contract offers that were already out there. He had to settle. By the way, I remember last year, the number that came out was BS, and some of it was incentive, and it wasn't the entire picture of it. So I just think he's overly emotional, and he loved it here, and he didn't want to leave. And he felt disrespected because he felt like, and his agent probably told him, you're worth X amount of money, and the market didn't dictate that. Now he got it. Oh, so he just tweeted something?
Let's see.
I didn't see it. I don't even know what it is.
All
right, see if you can find it and put it up there. But yeah. So I think that as long as things are all right, if next year turns into another bleep show, guess what? Then you might as well just not watch the team because it's going to be done. It's going to be over. These guys don't lose easy. So we'll see if we can find it.
He tweeted 15 minutes ago, I do owe the fans of Philly an apology. Regardless, this is an amazing place and we had some memories together. Let's go get us one. Fly, Eagles, fly.
CJGJ Twitter. All right, like whatever.
Yeah.
He
knows he was talking out his ass. It's fine. It's whatever. We're good. I don't care. Just come in here and play good. That's all I care about.
Yeah, totally. Totally.
And
agree.
guess what? If he comes out and leads the league in interceptions again this year, who's going to remember what he said?
He was a really good player when he was here. All right, so I haven't seen this, and Steven, I was just looking for it literally right before we went on the air. If this is true, 3 years, 27, $10 million guaranteed. So it's really a 1-year contract. I knew it. So it's really a 1-year contract. And you would
they might have to eat a little bit in the next year.
Dead cap in year 2, depending on who knows how they maybe they actually put a lot of it in year. Who knows how these contracts are BS. Pat Mahomes just restructured his contract again for $21 million of cap space with the Chiefs. He just restructured it in September.
It's fake. It's fake. The thing is, like, this is why like the teams like the Chargers couldn't like maximize their salary cap because they didn't have an owner that was willing to just pay $20 million today to make cap space. It's like Jeffrey Lurie doesn't give a shit. Like Jeffrey Lurie is a great owner for fans because he'll be, all right, you're telling me I have to pay $15 million right now. I'm going to make $10 million in cap space. But like they did this with Lane Johnson a bunch of times in the years past. Well, if Lane Johnson gets hurt week 1, Jeffrey Lurie is the only one that gets screwed in that situation where it's like, yeah, he made cap space but you paid the guy $15 million. Now he gets hurt. You still have to pay him the $15 million. So as long as you have owners that are willing to pay the money, that's why I think these GMs get way too much credit. I think Howie gets way too much credit for his cap maneuvering. It's Jeffrey Lurie that gets all the credit.
Every team can do it.
Every team can do it.
You
just have to have an owner that allows you to do it. Like, if Howie played for the Chargers, if it was the Chargers GM, no one would know Howie Roseman's name.
Yep.
For a second.
Yep. Yeah, like and all Mahomes is just getting additional, like he's not getting any more money. He's just getting more.
He's just getting it. He's just getting it in a check right now today instead of over game checks.
And because the cap is such a farce, it just creates cap space and whatever. The cap isn't real. You can just kick everything down the street for a later date. Doesn't matter. But yeah, so you saw that. All right. So overall, and we'll talk about what else here. So CJGJ, thumbs up, especially if it's really a 1-year contract. If it's one with, like, come on, $10 million guaranteed. That sounds right.
I wish they gave him this deal last year. How hard would it have been just to do that last year?
His agent screwed it up last year. I don't know if he has the same agency.
I'm assuming that's the case, but like, I don't know. I feel like this wasn't the same offer that was presented last year for him from Howie and the Eagles.
I don't know. Apparently they had made him a good offer before free agency started, and when they rejected it, that's when they moved on and said, "Okay, well,
I heard it was for like $8 million a year, not
because remember that's when they went and they re-signed Bradbury and they brought back Slay. They weren't going to bring back Slay, right. And then all of a sudden, Slay's like, "No, I don't want to leave." Slay wanted to be traded, if you remember. Right. So
yeah, it was only a matter of which two they were bringing back of those three.
And this really isn't. I saw somebody write that this is an acknowledgement from the Eagles that they screwed up a little bit. I mean, not really. If it's a 1-year contract, this improves them next year.
Yeah. I got nothing in the last like 10 minutes about the actual.
No,
like I'm still getting 3 years worth up to $33 million. I haven't got any definitive change in that.
Seems a little bit light for the guaranteed money, but then again, he signed a 1-year contract last year and he was hurt.
So, yeah, but he got 6.5 on last year, and I thought that was a discount deal anyway. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think there's something screwy happened last year in that contract negotiation. Was the number I heard last year was they offered him 8, and then he took like just under that with the Lions.
Right.
So I don't know. I feel like if you made the 8.5 over 3 years, if they did 3 years, $24 million last year, it probably would have gotten done.
Huh. All right. Bradbury's not going to be cut. It actually costs more to cut him than to keep him. So you'd be losing additional cap space if you cut him. That's why I always get a kick out of the headlines when you see something like you did a couple weeks ago, like, the Eagles are open to trading James Bradbury. Yeah, no shit. They're open to trading James Bradbury. But what team is going to take on his contract? Nobody. That's how he got cut by the Giants. The Giants didn't want to pay him because he was making a lot of money. He was a good player for the Eagles, but they cut him late. The Eagles got a good deal on him. But no one's trading for James Bradbury. He's here. You're not going to you're going to have to make the best of it. And they're hoping that CJGJ, based on what he did 2 years ago with these two guys, can maybe get him back to playing better. I don't know. All right, so you have that, and then you have Devontae Parker. And I think, do Eagles fans now forget, didn't he have one really good game against the Eagles however many years ago, Devontae Parker? And the Eagles liked him after that. I always remember that they were, because the
pretty
Dolphins,
sure they tried to make a move for him.
Yeah, the Dolphins signed him to a pretty big contract, and they were trying to get out of it pretty much right away, but there was never a trade made. And then he went to New England, and New England actually gave him an extension last year, which was interesting, in July, like a decent extension. He is not. He did not have a good year last year. He's your third wide receiver. He's not a dynamic player. Like, I had just seen Warren Sharp of Sharp Football. Wide receiver. So this is next gen stats, because I know you're a big analytics guy, Delco Steve.
I like my analytics.
So wide receiver separation using next gen stats. Devontae Parker rankings per year, the last 4 years. He was 132 out of 132 in 2020. 127 out of 127. 122 out of 122.
Love it.
And then this past season, 115 out of 115. Dead last in separation 4 straight years.
How is it even possible?
He's the slowest wide receiver in football.
That's pretty bad. That's pretty freaking bad.
So here's the caveat to it. They only
He's also what, 6'3"?
Yeah, he's not known for his speed, right? So you're only going to have to pay $1.2 million because the Patriots owe him a bunch of money because they're taking the dead cap hit or whatever. So you don't have to pay him anything more than the minimum because the Patriots are paying him the rest. So it's very little of a risk. He can just suck. Now, the problem I see with him is Jalen Hurts a guy that is going to throw 50-50 balls to him? Or because Hurts is more of a guy that likes to throw to open receivers.
He likes to see them open.
Spots,
he likes to see the guy open, yeah.
As opposed to spots.
The only person he throws it up is to AJ.
Right. And that's on vertical plays. He'll do it to Devontae as well. He'll put the ball up and let those guys make a play. So that's fine. I think Adams can be one of those guys. But if you're talking about your third receiver in particular, this is going to be where he should be working the middle of the field. You're trying to get first downs. When he's on the field, I can't see him having vertical routes with Devontae Smith and AJ Brown on the field. So if he's not creating separation, is Jalen Hurts even going to throw it to him?
Is he just like a big tight end, like kind of option?
Maybe. You know what? It's a good point. But $1.2 million is one. Like that's
worth a shot.
Worth a shot.
He had talent. Like he was a great receiver in Louisville. He had a great start to his career. He's got talent. It's just a matter of, is it still there?
Right.
I feel like it's worth a flyer. Is he a better Julio now? Or, is he a
younger Julio?
Yeah.
Probably. Maybe they draft somebody because you're only, even if he's your fourth receiver. In reality is you have two wide receivers that need and want their targets. You have Dallas Goedert that's going to want targets. I just told Saquon Barkley now is going to get tons of targets because you paid him so much money. And more on that coming up.
I believe a freaking Eagles running back gets tons of targets when it actually happens.
When Andy Reid comes back.
The crazy thing is, it's like, I feel like, I don't know, like I might be misremembering this as a kid, but like I feel like I remember people bitching about throwing to the running backs out of the backfield when like early 2000s-ish, like before it became like 100% of the thing.
So
and now it is a thing and we don't do it.
So Andy actually was, to your point, was ahead of his time with the throwing the running backs. So what he used to say, because as you know, in this town, Steve, we like to run the football. Fans love to run the football, run the ball. Andy used to say that those short passes were really like runs too. You shouldn't count them as a run. But fans didn't want to hear that.
Right.
But here's the other thing. They were really good at it. Brian Westbrook was awesome as a receiver. Their screen game, and let me give Donovan a huge compliment here. Donovan was awesome at selling the screen. The line was great at blocking it. They executed a screen pass with Brian Westbrook better than any team that I've ever seen, especially in Philadelphia.
I remember when Andy went to the the Chiefs, and they had Jamal Charles. I was just like, holy shit. Like, that's going to be awesome. And like, I could only imagine if they had someone besides Alex Smith being the quarterback back then when they had Jamal Charles and Andy Reid.
So Vince brings up a good point with Shady. Shady was a great back out of the backfield.
Yep.
And
he was the monster.
The 1 year he had 70, 80 catches or something like that. Different coach and different offense right now, but so it's not that I think they should be able to.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like that's like of any modern offense right now, that has to be a part of it. Like, that has to be a focal point. Like, the guys that dominate this league are the Alvin Kamars, or over the past few years, the Alvin Kamars, the Dalvin Cooks, the CMCs, the guys that can do both, and they accentuate your offense.
Yeah, Shady had.
And we've had guys that could do that. They just didn't decide. Like, DeAndre Swift was that prototype to a T, and they just decided not to do it.
Yep.
I don't know. I feel like you're not taking advantage of the situations you're dealt.
That's what you thought you were getting. I remember saying it a ton of times. Like, yeah, you're going to use him out of the backfield. No, they didn't.
Nope. They did it for like 2 games, and then it was like, oh, that worked great. And then it was like, never mind, screw it.
Shady had 78 catches in his second year in the league at age 22. The year that he had 1,600 rushing yards, he had 52 receptions for 539 yards.
Like, that's awesome. Like, that kind of production out of a running back is freaking awesome.
2,100 scrimmage yards, 11 touchdowns, unbelievable. Well, we could only be so lucky that Saquon has that kind of a year. Steve, I can't comment. Are you doing drugs tonight or?
No, this is my thing. Like, I know the game. Like, I know talking the sport, not the
free agency and draft. Yeah, you'll get Steve. So you already hear him talk about he was really good at Louisville, so he follows college football and the draft process as well. So he remembers where I couldn't have told you that Devontae Parker came out of Louisville.
I know this stupid shit off the top of my head for no reason whatsoever.
Well, I need a mock draft coming out from you, Delco Steve. You don't have to do 7 rounds.
Oh, I'd lose my mind. There's no way. There's no way I could do it.
Well, he's also probably in a good mood because his girlfriend is in the house tonight. I had heard her in the background before. So she's there listening. She may be watching as well, but
she's gonna be mad.
Well, I didn't bring her on the camera or anything like that, but she's there. All right, so there you go. A couple other Eagle things here. So these Justin Fields rumors, man, have you heard a couple of them over the last few days?
No, the first I heard of it is when I saw the headline of the show.
So this isn't some loser insider tweets it out saying like, yeah, the Eagles could be interested in Justin Fields. It's almost like one of these things where, so James Palmer, NFL Network said it. And, Rap Sheet said it. He said, if the price drops dramatically, that the Eagles could be in on Justin Fields as a backup. So that was Monday. Albert Breer, I would play the sound, but Albert Breer is very long-winded. And I love Albert Breer. I think he's great, but it's not conducive to a soundbite to play. So they had asked about Justin Fields. A lot of people thought Justin Fields was going to get a second, maybe a 3rd-round draft pick. Nobody wants him. So he's not going to get a starting job unless something changes. So now teams are looking at it and saying, hey, as a backup, we'll give you a 5th for him. We'll give you a 6th for him. Maybe a conditional 5th, right? So the Eagles, I don't know if there's dots being connected here by these writers. I feel like there's a lot of internal talk that the Eagles are in, and they're waiting for the Bears to realize that this price is going to drop, because the Bears don't want to give them away for a 5th-round draft pick right now. The Bears also know that everybody knows that they can't keep them, right? I mean, and that's the one thing Albert Breer said in this cut was that maybe, like, if they can't get a 5th for him, they may keep him, which would be ugly. But
I don't see how there's any way a team like the Patriots or the Broncos don't give up a 3rd and take him over what else they could get. How do the Patriots not take a 3rd-round pick and trade it for Justin Fields and then draft Marvin Harrison Jr.? or another position of need.
They must want. So, like, I'm not a talent evaluator. I'm not evaluating quarterbacks, but there's 3 quarterbacks. They're going to go 1, 2, 3. It's a matter of who goes 2 and 3. And like, if your evaluation is that you like this guy and you want to draft him, you do it. Justin Fields has 1 more year left on his contract, and then you would have to pay him $25 million on that option year. You totally reset the clock by drafting a quarterback. So
no, I get that 100%. But I'm just saying, like, the Bears are in year 2 of having the first overall pick, having to make this decision. But the Patriots, on the other hand, you could go get a premier player that you probably know isn't going to be a bust in Marvin Harrison Jr. and pair him with someone he has a rapport with in Justin Fields in New England, where you're taking a flyer on Drake May or what the hell's his name?
Jaden Daniels. Yeah,
I'm a fan of both of them. I'm not saying that they're not going to be good.
I am too, and both could be busts.
Yeah, anything can happen.
Of the 3 quarterbacks, one of those guys isn't going to be good.
It's Caleb Williams. Williams. I'm going to die on the hill.
If you look at history, 2 of the guys aren't going to be good.
Probably.
And Caleb Williams is thought to have generational talent, and he's also an asshole.
He's a nut job.
Right, and he has not handled big situations in the press and things like that. Well, now you're going to be the first overall pick going to Chicago. So Lombardi said it last week. So he's being viewed as a backup. And
I don't understand how either. Like, I don't know. I think he's proven enough that he's a starter in this league.
Over some of these other guys, I guess because it's for a year. And then
like the Raiders, you just took freaking Minshew. Like, you just paid Minshew.
Paid him a ton of money.
They gave him $30 million for 2 years with however much guaranteed. Why wouldn't you rather take a shot at Justin Fields for a year?
I agree with you. You just give up a mid-round pick. So let's circle back to the Eagles making a move for him. I'm in 100%.
I'm not going to say no to good players. That's my thing. I'll take any good player if the cost is worth the price.
In particular, with Jalen Hurts and the fact that if people are going to tell me how injured he was last year and that was a reason why he wasn't as good, well, then okay. See, it's not just if you miss games. We'll always, when we talk about a player being injury prone, we'll go and we'll look at how many games he's played, right? Like I'll go to Pro Football Reference and I'll say, oh, look at that. He played 13 games last year. I did it with CJGJ. I did it with Justin Simmons. But how about the games he played that he sucked because he was banged up, right? So when you're injured and it affects how you play in the game, that also should be a contributing factor. And Jalen's had a lot of that. He not only has missed games, he's been banged up in these games. So last year, what you learned with Mariota is he sucks, and I don't know if they're trying to get somebody better or they're waiting the market out. It'd be nice if you could have and Tanner McKee looked good last year in the preseason. I like Tanner McKee. I don't know what happens if he needs to be the starter and you have a team that is that's a playoff team, right? I don't know. I would easily give up a 4th round draft pick for Justin Fields.
What'd you say? 5th?
4th. I'll give up a 4th round draft pick for him.
I give up a 4th.
Because you're not paying him anything.
And you just got an extra 3rd. And you're never going to pick up that 5th year option anyway.
No, you're paying for it just like with Mariota. Last year with Mariota, you paid $8 million for backup.
Don't they have to pick up the options this week or before the league year starts? Isn't that when it's somewhere around there?
Something like that.
So they have to they have to pull this trigger soon. They're going because they're going to be on a deadline for this.
All right, so he's got a cap hit of $6 million. So it's
Fields.
Yeah, it's a $6 million cap hit.
Well, it's less than what we paid Mariota's cap hit last year. So
it sure is. And I would love a quarterback controversy because the minute that Hurts started to suck, I would be put Justin Fields in there.
I love Hurts. I think Hurts is a great quarterback going in. Obviously, last year, forget about that for a second because it was, whatever the circumstances were. But Fields is a dude I liked, like coming out of college. I was ready for him to be the quarterback out of Ohio State that bucks the trend. So I'm not saying I want a QB controversy, but I wouldn't mind having him on the roster.
So reps brings up a point with you would think that Chicago is this crazed sports town. It is much different then in East Coast City, Philadelphia. He would. I wouldn't draft him if I was the Eagles. I wouldn't. Parkinson, Spiegel don't take any calls at all. Well, yeah. What I think of that show, but it's honestly not a terrible sports city. It's not that like it has more bite than some other Midwestern cities, but that's not going to stop Skip and Shannon and Stephen A. Smith and Nick Wright and whoever else does those shows and national talk radio. Caleb Williams will have a microscope on him based on what he did at college and based on being the number one pick. And they're going to be looking to tear him down. I'm just telling you.
Well, he's put a target on his back already as is, too.
Yep.
He had a list of teams halfway through his last season of college saying who he'd play for. It's like, dude, you don't have we all know you don't have a say in that. Like, and then you're talking about, you want equity in a team that drafts you. There's a rookie pay scale. We all know that. Like, how are you so arrogant to suggest otherwise?
Right. Nick says
he's doing it to himself.
Agreed. I think there's a lot of red flags with him. 3.2
I
million,
think he's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
3.2 million for a new team for Fields because he's traded. So the Bears would have to eat the rest of it.
Done.
Thank you, Nick. That's easy.
Done.
That's easy. Fifth year options in May. No one's picking up the 5th year option. So it could be
right.
It's going to be before the season. That no one's picking up the 5th year option.
I feel like it's got to be. I don't know exact date, but I feel like it's got to be before the draft. Those options. No,
May definitely makes sense. I'm trying to think because even if they pick it up, I think they can still rescind it. 5th year option. May 2nd at least. Yeah, May 2nd. So
okay,
there you go. All right, so Justin Fields.
I'm surprised it's after the draft.
Yep, I think that there's a good chance that Justin Fields is an Eagle, based on the conversation that is happening. No one's reporting it, but it's obviously being talked about in league circles. If two of the biggest insiders that are out there are bringing up the Eagles' name and they don't have a backup quarterback, unless they think Tanner McKee's the guy, which maybe they do. Maybe they do. But there you go.
Well, we are the QB factory, so they got to get as many in as they possibly can.
You're damn right, Steve. All right, justifying Saquon Barkley's contract. A lot of people out there. Were you like this? I'm diabetic, and sometimes in the middle of the night, my blood sugar gets low. And I
go get a Reese's.
And I go downstairs. No, I don't have Reese's. I go downstairs, and when your blood sugar gets really low, it gives you this incredible appetite. Dude, when I tell you an incredible appetite, I could eat an entire loaf of bread of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And I'm not kidding. So last night, I ate 160 carbs of granola bars, which is 8.
You ate 8 granola bars last night?
Yes. I ate 4 trail mix bars, Nature Valley trail mix bars, and I ate 4 of it's like a peanut butter wafer. So I ate 8 of them. I knew what I was doing. I couldn't stop myself. But then I was up reading grades of the free agency so far. So 3:00 in the morning, I'm pounding granola bars and I'm reading grades because I want to see what people are saying about the Saquon signing. It's about what I expected. It's split. People are saying no, I wouldn't do that at all. I wouldn't have paid him that money. Eagles are breaking philosophy. And then others are pointing out, Steve, that when you look around and you say, like, all right, Saquon Barkley is $37.5 million. But when you look at some other contracts, Gabe Davis is more money, and it's about the same amount of guaranteed money.
Yep.
Who'd you rather have, Gabe Davis or Saquon Barkley?
Oh, I'll take Saquon.
Saquon Barkley. But see, like, if you look at it from that lens, is it really that bad of a contract? Saquon Barkley's a better player than Gabe Davis. I like Gabe Davis. He's fine.
These wide receiver contracts are like backup centers in the NBA contracts, where they're just asinine at this point in time.
So do you know who I don't even know his first name. It's Parkinson. He signed with the Rams. He's a backup with the Seahawks.
It was the tight end. It was the tight end for the Seahawks. Yeah.
He got $22.5 million and $15.5 million guaranteed. He's a backup tight end.
Well, so I'm going to steal this from our boy Nick Costos. that they were talking about the Rams have done a whole reestablish the run. They paid a guard from the Lions, then they paid their guard to stay with them, and now they're getting a blocking tight end with Higbee being out because he tore his ACL at the end of the year, and they have their pass catching tight end. They are there already, so they're probably just trying to solidify their run game.
That eat an edible. I didn't eat an edible at 3:00 in the morning, but no, I did not eat an edible. I was absolutely starving. And how do you think I felt the following morning, Steve, after eating 8 granola bars at 3:00?
Flyers win. Probably like shit.
Another win, huh?
Well, they had to bounce back from that 7-0 drumming on Saturday night.
Wow. Yeah. So and then you say that they go offensive guards. Steve, it wasn't that long ago that if you were an offensive guard, it meant you were the worst player on the line and you didn't make any money. And you were the center and the guard were the least important positions on the guard. And I remember when the Eagles signed, who was on the big guard they signed that was on the Super Bowl team from Houston.
Brooks.
Yeah, they paid him a ton of money.
Yeah, he got the first highest paid contract for the guards.
And then guards.
Not the first. You know what I mean?
No, but then they started getting paid like tackles, and tackles started getting paid even more.
Yep.
So like Landon Dickerson's making a ton of money. Guys that are almost like backup players or like decent starters are making a lot of money.
Well, that's why I was saying yesterday with Runyon, 3 years, $30 million isn't a big deal anymore. That's an average.
That's nothing.
It's literally nothing. It's an average contract for a guard. I think he took a below market deal to go to New York, in all honesty.
Also, when you look at some of the previous contracts that running backs have signed that people were comparing to, because where the cap is what it is, it's not just how much money they're making, it's also the percentage of the cap. So paying Saquon Barkley X amount of dollars is different when the cap is $40 million more than it was, say, 3 years ago when somebody got an equal amount of money or the same amount of money. Right. So it's different. So here's the reality. I don't think this is going to be bad for the Eagles. I think it's going to be fine for the Eagles. I don't think it's going to be bad. He may be injured. It's not going to be a bust. He's a good player. He'll be better on a better team with a better offensive line, and you probably get a bump in year 1, and then year 2, maybe there's an injury or something like that. I think it's going to be a good signing. But
I think they get through at least this season with him, where it looks like a positive signing. After that, who knows?
The real question is, should you have used the money elsewhere? Should you have said, hey, listen, how about we value a linebacker for once and not sign and use that on the defensive side of the ball?
Did you see Patrick Queen's contract today?
I did.
Like, come on. That's easy to do. Like,
yeah,
that's not even – it's nothing. It's nothing. It was, what, 3 years, $41 million?
Yeah, and I didn't see the guarantee on it, but
I don't even care. Like, that's nothing. Like, that's not valuing. That's not a contract that's like, oh, I value the linebacker position. That was in my opinion, for his talent, that's a undervalued contract.
But that's the Steelers. The Steelers know what to do with those players. The Eagles don't even want those players.
That's the problem. That's the problem.
Yep.
Get me heated.
And that's why they don't get these guys. I don't even know what this I feel like we just had Fangio disciples and now we have Fangios. So now we actually have Fangio. We had the disciples before. So you look at it a couple of different ways, and it's really I don't think the contract's bad at all. I mean, if you sign Gabe Davis to more or less the same contract, Gabe Davis, you know what, Gabe Davis may have 40 catches and 3 touchdowns at the end of the year, right? So, like, to me, it's a good deal, and it's worth a shot. Is it risky? Yep, it's risky. CJGJ doesn't seem like that much of a risk.
Yeah. Oh, to your point, like I don't think Gabe Davis as our third receiver helps us better than Saquon Barkley helps us.
No,
there's no way. Like I'd rather take Saquon Barkley and Devontae Parker combo than Gabe Davis.
I got to see what I have to see this contract with Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. I do. I need to see the details of how much it actually is. I don't know where that listener got it from, or that viewer, I guess you could say. All right, so far so great, so good. So let's look what they've done so far. All right, they got Saquon Barkley, that feels like a sizzle move. ESPN gave him a C. I saw some other places kind of go C, B. Nobody gave him an A from what I saw. But so Saquon Barkley, Bryce Huff, I actually saw a lot of the experts loving the signing and saying that this was a bet on upside. And the Eagles are normally aggressive when they see a player that's exiting his rookie contract that they can get at a lesser price than probably was what he would be if you give him a year or two. Yeah, so they got a lot of praise for Bryce Huff. $3.5 million for Zach Bond, which was a little surprising for me.
But would you rather have had Daniil Hunter for 2 years, $49 million over Huff?
Yeah, nah. I mean, but I also don't evaluate film and things like that. Well, Hunter's been a more productive player. This guy's done it for 1 year. Yeah,
he's a fucking beast. He's a monster. I every year he asks for money from the Vikings, I'm like, pay him. Just give him the money. Pay him. He's a stud. Pay him. I don't know.
So I heard this from Tiki, actually.
As to say, if you ask Tiki, he's terrible at it.
So I guess Boomer was saying that he's not good at blocking, that maybe he's been overrated. I don't know. That is kind of the canned response that Eagles fans have been using. Like, oh, he's great in pass protection. Someone said that at one point. So
I've never once watched him and been like, oh, he's a liability in pass blocking.
No. But then again, who the hell knows? I don't think he's a liability, but
no, I'm not saying he's the best of the best. I feel like Zeke Elliott gets a lot of credit for being a great pass blocking running back. I'm not saying he's him, but I'm also not saying he's Darren Sproles that's 5'5" and is going to get smashed by a D tackle.
So Saquon Barkley in 2023 was the best pass blocking running back.
How do they judge that? Like, I don't know. It's just like I feel like it's an eye test thing.
It should be. I remember one year they had Deshaun Jackson, a top 7 or 8 wide receiver run blocker, and you just gotta laugh at it and be like, you gotta be like, yeah, based on what?
I weigh more than Deshaun Jackson.
Right. Well, yeah, you probably do. I was hanging out with Deshaun back in December. He put on a couple LBs, but you are probably bigger.
Is he 170 pounds soaking wet nowadays, or what?
He's probably a little, maybe, could be. So you have Huff, you have Bond. And here's one thing: Josh Sweat said goodbye to Philadelphia today. What was that? Because then you saw nothing else about it. Josh Sweat. So was he tweaking the fans, or would they just tell him he's going to be traded, or he's over emotional? What's going on?
I don't know. These guys just if they don't trade him, he'll be like, "Oh, sorry, I did that." No, I just. You think that these guys that grew up in this generation would understand how to use social media to their advantage, and they just shoot themselves in the foot over and over and over again.
Yeah, they do. I don't know. How much do you squat, Steve? People are in chat or
405 is my best. One
and
rep.
what was Jalen's that he did the huge
600 something ridiculous, something stupid. I'll never be there.
And Saquon's known to have a powerful ass and
Saquon's squat cleaned like 405, which is that's insane. Like, that's freaking insane.
Yeah, Sweat could get cut. I read somewhere that Reddick could possibly get cut, which would be insane to me with how good he's been. But they would cut Sweat because they don't want to pay him.
Yeah, well, his guarantees are probably done.
John Julius has been looking at your Instagram here, Steve.
Thank you, John.
Said you cut your quads. Look at that. Like, do we have gay men that are going on your Instagram? Are you heterosexual? Are you fully heterosexual, Steve? Or just asking for the people?
No, I'm good over here. That's for sure.
You're good.
Yeah, I'm good.
All
I'm
right.
good. I'm happy over here. That's for sure.
So I agree with Philly Sports Probably wants to know when you're putting the workout video up there.
What on right now? Like on
No,
on this screen?
next time you go to the gym, put it out on your Instagram.
Yeah, I don't know. I only do it when I actually accomplish something interesting.
All right. Well, people are just saying they're looking for content now that you're becoming a minor celebrity, being on my poorly
minor
watched
celebrity.
uh,
The people at the gym do love the show, though.
Oh yeah, people did.
They do love it.
What gym do you go to?
It's called Sonic Boom Fitness in Springfield.
Sonic Boom. Oh, in Springfield. I've been to the Springfield Outback pretty much twice a month for the last however many years.
That's less than 10 minutes from my house.
Yep, takeout. I swing right in there when I go to the in-laws. It's either Italian Delight in Broomall or it's Outback in Springfield. Bam. I pass the country club every time, whatever that road is, and I'm coming. Is that Sproul that I bring all the way down? No, it's not Sproul.
Yeah, Sproul.
Is it Sproul? Yeah, so it goes right past the country club. Rest in peace, Birdie from Broomall.
Springfield Country Club you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Sproul.
All right. So it's both Sweat and Reddick gone?
I feel like they kind of have to be. I don't know.
Well, who's the other starter?
Smith.
Nah, man. No way. Nah, he can't be. That's really the problem. Let's start signing anybody else. They can't have Nolan Smith. I don't know if Nolan Smith can play.
I don't want either one of them gone. This is like the situation that Howie's kind of like dealt himself into, though. Like that's what I'm saying. I didn't understand the situation of you have two well-rounded players in Smith or Sweat and Reddick, and okay, great. You say Reddick, you could go seek a trade. Fine, whatever. Then you do Sweat, you could go seek a trade. Okay. And then you bring in a one-dimensional player in Huff. I don't know. Those don't check for me.
If they're trying to win if they're trying to get back to the Super Bowl this year, they can't have Huff and Nolan Smith and BG. They're light on linemen. I don't know. I would love to keep Reddick for this last year. And by the way, I understand Hassan Reddick. This is a business, and these are non-guaranteed contracts. And Hassan Reddick's underpaid. He's outperformed his contract. You're gonna have to come in and play, bro. I'm not releasing him or trading him. I think they'd be nuts to release Hassan Reddick. Nuts. But
I don't think you should release even one of them. I just don't know I don't understand these situations where, like, like Chris Jones sitting out, what the ramifications are for him sitting out. But what are the ramifications for the team for them sitting out besides just losing that cap number? It's just like they don't have anything to lose. The players have everything to lose.
Correct. Yeah. The players end up getting screwed in this whole thing.
They're drafting an edge rusher in the freaking first round of the draft.
If they would have, who's the Papadopoulos or the Karfalitis guy that Andy drafted in Kansas City? I was ready to bet anything that they're going to draft him. He's actually been pretty.
Oh, what? The Eagles? Oh, I thought they were drafting him. I thought they were drafting him.
It's definitely an Eagle player. They didn't. So we'll see.
I want Verse from Florida State. Fall to 20. What are we, 21, 22? Fall to Florida, 21, 22. They got him going around like 15, 16 right now.
Mad Mike. Andy thinks he's angry Mike. I swear a turn when Mike is on. Oh, because there's Andy from Deptford, I guess, has been pretty annoying recently. So that's just WIP whack.
Just recently?
Yeah, that's true. Just recently. He always is. Sometimes he appears in chat right here. As I've said on previous shows, he'll DM me. I just don't read the DMs. He was trying to get on, I believe, Monday because he DM'd me a bunch of times.
We're eventually going to have to let him on.
Are we?
No, I mean, like you said, we have the quick trigger. We can pull the quick trigger on him.
What do people think about Andy?
We could let him go for 5 minutes and let everyone do this and then kick him out.
Well, you're right. We should. Everybody's saying no.
I've never seen so many comments come in so quick.
All you guys can come on before. You all can come on. All you have to do is email me, and I'll send you a link. And if you really want to come on, you can come on. Yeah, no, I can't keep up with the demand of no's. Yep, you're right. We got to bring him on, Steve.
Yeah, yeah. If everyone said yes, you'd be like, yeah, no way.
Yeah, Ingy. Yeah, Ingy. I think Ingy was going through some mental things. You remember Ingy, Steve?
Yep.
I met Ingy on 2 occasions, and
How'd
it's
that go?
about what you think it would go. He's a little bit odd, especially when you meet him in person.
Could only imagine why.
he came to when I used to do the Saturday morning shows with Sean Brace at an Andy's Diner near you. We were in Conshohocken, and I just remember, I don't know if I was trying to leave or whatever, but I just remember seeing him in the parking lot. I was like, yo. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, Ingy. I knew right away. And he honestly, I believe he's a Korean fella. So he's like, you don't know shit about sports. And I think he called Sean Brace a slur that I can't use on the radio anymore. But yeah. So there you go. Andy's Diner, the good old days. Well, bring on Brace. He would have had to contact me in the last year if I was going to bring him on. I'm not going to text him. I haven't heard from him, so I might hear from him soon. But whatever. Ingy calls Howard. Did not know that. Ingy looks like Ingy's tall. I'd say about 6'2". Average build. Probably in his 40s now. Korean gentleman. There you go. All right. So what'd you make for dinner there tonight, Delco Steve?
We went out. We were in media, Brick and Brew. Had a couple apps. Oh, I guess I did kind of have some drugs tonight. I had a couple of espresso martinis.
So you're drinking.
Yeah.
Boom.
No, I had two.
You guys nailed it. Nailed it. The people nailed it.
2 espresso martinis.
I'm not saying you were hammered.
But
you were a little bit.
This is the shit I love though too. This is like, I love GM season.
All right. Yeah, you were having. Hang on a second.
Whoa.
Yeah, hang on a second.
Whoa, that's blasphemy.
Espresso martini is not a chick drink.
No, it's an adult Four Loko.
All right, you want to hear a quick story? You ever hear of Seasons 52?
Yes.
King of Prussia. Good restaurant, right?
Yeah.
I've been there.
Yeah,
so it was
a little piano bar.
It was actually I've actually been there and sat at the bar with the piano guy playing. It's pretty cool. It's a good place, good spot. So it was actually my wife's 30th birthday because we went there with her parents and I got espresso martinis. I don't know if it was 2 or 1, but I got espresso martini. So the guys in Valet were listeners. So this is when I worked at the Fanatic. Guys in Valet were listeners. So I came out and they started busting my balls about drinking an espresso martini, like call me a chick. And I'm like, all right, like whatever. Next thing I know, they're talking about it on the air because these guys are tweeting Harry about how, so like, and I had no intention. I wasn't mad about it or anything. I got on the air and I called him stupid because I'm like, I'm like, you're tweeting, I'm spending $18 on a drink at your restaurant and you're tweeting calling me a pussy because I'm drinking espresso martinis.
Oh, wait, it was season 52 tweeting?
Yeah. It was the valets from Seasons 52.
Oh, okay. It's just the valets. Not
the account.
Okay.
No,
yeah.
but Harry's talking. I remember driving in and Harry's talking about it on the air. I'm like, what are these guys talking about? And I'm like, why are they talking about me drinking martinis?
Oh, they're talking about me being a pussy.
Right. And then I'm like,
great conversation. That's exactly what I want to hear.
Yeah, and that's what I said. I'm like, oh, so I'm a pussy for drinking your $18 drinks, espresso martinis, like you had said.
Did you tip those guys? Did you tip those guys on the way out?
Yeah, of course.
You should go back and get that money.
I mean, I don't remember what it was. No, but I was just like shocked. I'm like, wow. The same thing happened when I said I liked White Claws. It was before everybody was in this
Love
seltzers.
White
And it's like,
Claws. Love White Claws.
well, let's go with Bartles and James. And I'm like, no, I'll drink this instead of your shitty IPA. I want nothing.
I hate IPAs. Hate them.
Fuck
Out.
that. Yeah. So
Out
to
by
your
a billion.
point, espresso martinis, number one on the drink list for me.
Oh, it's great. If you give me a good one, I'm in 100%.
100% at a nice place that makes good cocktails. It's the equivalent of a Red Bull vodka if I'm out at some shitty bar.
It's the mature version of a Red Bull vodka. It's the mature version of the college Red Bull vodka or the high school Four Loko.
Correct. See, I never got into the Four Locos because they were gone before I really had a shot. I did have them, and they did make me feel like they were on drugs.
2 Four Locos was the greatest drunk of all time.
Yeah?
Oh, in my opinion. If you went to 3, though, you're probably getting arrested.
Ike was against White Claws at first, and then he had him, and he said, this is the best thing ever. And Elliot was mad because he's like, White Claws aren't even, he's like, I drink White Claws. He's like, they're not even new. And I'm like, yeah, but no one knows really about them because I said that I had them and they were good, and people got mad at me. He was mad that I came out and I said, I love White Claws. F you guys. And people got mad at me.
I'm all in on Surfsides now. Spend all my money on them instead. Oh, dude, the peach iced tea ones. Oh, sign me up. Done.
Are they carby? I can't have them with the diabetes. So what? It's artificially flavored. Because the thing,
I'll have to check it out tonight. I have
the thing I like about the High Noons, and honestly, have you ever had the it's Cutwater? It's a Moscow Mule.
I've heard of them. Yeah, no, I haven't had them.
Cutwater's good. It's not easy to find. You have to go to the liquor store, but they don't normally have them like they have the High Noons. But the Moscow Mule Cutwaters are awesome, and the margarita ones are gross. Lime margarita.
Is that the one from Texas? Is that it's got like it's a horns on it?
Maybe,
because there's one that's like it's like a tequila like brand, and they're like seltzer, and it's really good.
Cutwater Moscow Mule. I know that's like 8% alcohol, and I have 2 of them. I'm hammered of the Cutwater, but they're really good.
That's Ranch Water. John has Ranch Water is the one I'm talking about. Okay, that's really good.
There you go. High Noons are fine, but I don't like.
I don't like the High Noons. I'm not a High Noon guy.
I used to like the spiked teas. Remember the twisted teas when they first came out? It's like, oh, these are good. They were so gross after you drank.
Let me tee off. What, you don't want to go tee off right now? Let's go.
No, I do not want to tee off.
Dude, my old roommate and I used to go down the sea aisle, drink the neck, and then have them pour a shot of vodka in the top of twisted teas. Oh, those nights were reckless. They were so much fun.
It makes me gag right now thinking about.
Dude, it was like $6 for a twisted tea, and then they would charge you like $1.50 for the shot. And I'm like, okay, so I could have one of these for $7.50 or 2 twisted teas for $12.
Exactly right.
Yeah, no.
I'll
take the loaded twisted tea any day of the week.
Yeah, see, I just felt so sick after having that. The Red Bull vodka, I would be at an after hours or at a party after being out and totally blackout and don't know how I got home. And people would tell me like next day, like, yeah, you were sober. You didn't really seem all that hammered. It's like, oh, I don't remember anything. That Red Bull vodkas are dangerous. Bad for you. All right, there you go.
Yeah, I got off of Red Bull vodkas a while back. Now I'm a vodka Sprite guy. I think we already went over that.
Yeah, it's too much sugar with the Sprite. Sprite Zero, maybe. All right, Reps was asking for a group outing, espresso martinis and Topgolf.
Done.
You a Topgolf guy?
I love golf. I love espresso martinis. Why not? I'm in.
All right. Well, we are going to have to, coming up in 2 Sundays is the 5K run walk for your sister, in memory of your sister. It's Twitter at Gallo3310. Retweet it, get more information, donate, please.
Please,
I will. And the run's coming up here in 2 Sundays.
12 days.
So, yep. And we'll be out there in 2 Sundays. So definitely check it out and check out Steve's Twitter and retweet it. And just if you can donate, you can donate it. If not,
Anything is
Spread the
appreciated,
awareness.
guys.
Yeah. Oh no, the meanie's on here right now. Is WrestleMania this weekend? When is WrestleMania? Is that April? I know
It's not this weekend. I don't know when it is, but I know it's not this weekend.
It's April.
Because my mom I haven't heard anything about my mom going this week.
It's April. Yeah, well, the meanie's going to be at his bar in South Philly doing Meanie Mania, watching WrestleMania with all the people.
I don't even know who that is.
So Blue Meanie was an original ECW wrestler, and then he was in the WWE after that before he's retired. So he was a part of he was with Raven and some of the other guys. I loved ECW back in the day. I know you're a big Hulk Hogan fan.
Sure. I got nothing on wrestling, dude. Like absolutely nothing.
Well, listen, everybody subscribe, like, follow, comment, whatever else you got to do, just do it. Delco Steve's going to get to maybe get some snuggling after he gets off the air.
No. We're taking her home. She's got work in the morning.
Okay. All right.
She's got to work early.
Well, hopefully you're sober enough now because you were hammered when you got on an hour ago.
Wasted.
Be careful. All right, everybody subscribe, follow, etc., etc., etc. Steve, thank you. We'll talk tomorrow night.
Yes, sir.
All right. See you.